This Jocks 94.5 podcast is brought to you by Millennium Satellite and Video. Log on to msbnow.com. TV excellence everywhere. That's Millennium. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning starts now.
All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, hour number 3 underway, Monday, August 25th, 9 a.m., right here on Jocks. Going to get to Tyler Watson in just a moment. Don't forget, listen online, jocksfm.com, apps in your app store. That takes you to the YouTube where you can watch us live every day and watch throughout the course of the day. Get you all the podcasts that you need, and you just listen live on the Jocks app. So go download that in the Jocks store. Like I said, I was at a birthday party Saturday night, met a young lady from Birmingham. I don't think she would mind if I said it. It was Jason Campbell's wife, by the way. She's like, I'm from Birmingham. She goes, look, I still have the Jocks app right here. I listen to you guys.
Heck yeah.
So I was like,
we got action.
There it is. Let's go. Jocks apps everywhere. Let's keep it going. Your CBD store wants to help you live a better life. There's a lot of ways that they can do it. The Trim by SunMed in stock now at the largest brick-and-mortar CBD retailer in the world. That's going to help the appetite, help going to curb that, help get some of the pounds off. Also, Your CBD store, first company to have USDA-certified organic oil supplements. They've got the stamp sale on those products. They're open. They're still there. Still have products for you. Don't have to worry about some of those things you see about other places on the news. Your CBD store is there going. If it's gut health, skin care for you or your pet, arthritis, anxiety for you or your pet, they have products that can help you. Get in there to one of their 3 locations today. Highway 280 by Bailey Brothers, 150 by the Cajun Cleaver, Trustful just off 459, Your CBD store where good health hits home. Tyler Watts joining us. You'll hear him on the radio broadcast alongside Chris Stewart and Corey Reamer this fall doing Alabama broadcast. What are your thoughts on the addition of Reamer? We love it. We think it's great. Get a little defensive thought process in there. I feel like he's done a great job talking Bama football whenever I've been around him, but what are your thoughts on the addition?
No, I'm fired up about it. I've been very fortunate here over the last couple of years having Christian Miller and Damian Square on the sideline to bounce different things of what's going on the defensive side as well as what opposing offenses are doing and how our defense is going to attack it. So I love having that side of the ball represented because it really does really help out our broadcast.
How would you assess the matchup this weekend as you look forward to this one? You've been to scrimmages, you've been around the program. What stood out about this team that feels very different from maybe a year ago?
I think, honestly, man, and you experienced it too, I think they're just comfortable with who they are now. They know what's expected of them. I think that they've really settled in on what the coaches are wanting to do as well as taking that next step of what they're capable of doing. Obviously, they're much further ahead, but I think player personnel also, you got a lot of dudes that have really bought into it, and I think you have more depth than potentially what you've had over the last year or two even. So I think that they're excited about the pieces that they have in place and what they can. Now, you still have to go out and execute, play well, but I think that they're optimistic about what this team can accomplish.
How would you describe – you've probably been asked, you probably had to do this. When folks around town or your friends, whoever you've been talking to, going different places for the kids, whatever it is, and they're like, man, what's Ty Simpson? What do you expect? Like, what are we going to see? What is he? How do you describe what you think Alabama's starting quarterback is going to be this fall?
I think it's still a question mark just because we haven't seen it. And watching him in practices over the last couple of years, his confidence really seemed to be the only thing that was lacking. You saw the talent, you saw the ability, but just the self-confidence that he could go out there and perform at a high level. But now that he is in his 3rd year, he's the guy. I think he has the respect of his teammates in the locker room, and that's a huge burden off of your shoulders as a quarterback when you're not looking over and really trying to compete. It's your job, your season. You know what's expected. You've seen other guys go through the fire, and he's got a lot of snaps under his belt as well, and not just last year in cleanup duty, but played a good bit versus South Florida the year before and was really the reason that they were able to win that football game, in an ugly football game, but he performed well. So he's had pieces where he has accomplished some things, and he's just got to learn to build off of that. Now, we still don't know what's going to happen when the bullets fly and he is the guy and how he handles adversity throughout the course of the game. But, being in your 3rd year is a whole lot different handling that pressure than a freshman or sophomore.
When you look at where things are with the loss of Jam Miller and having to kind of replace that position, you lose a home run hitter, a guy that's played a lot of football. How much of a concern is that going into this game, and not so much the Wisconsin game or the ULM game after that? I think Bama should be in good shape, but in the event in which he's not available for the Georgia game, how much does that impact the offense?
We shall see, because it comes down to what Richard Young, Daniel Hill, and Dre Washington are able to do, and who's going to be the guy. Are they going to be able to run the ball? Seems like a couple of weeks ago in scrimmage, although it was early, they got inside the red zone and really struggled to punch it in. I want to see this running game. You know, it's going to be a point of emphasis, whoever it is. But I've seen Richard Young last season really do some nice things, I thought, versus LSU. He ran the ball hard, made guys miss, ran through tackles. So I'm optimistic that we can plug that. I think it is a drop-off, but you're hoping that you get enough production out of there so that Alabama doesn't have to be one-dimensional on the offensive side.
I think most people feel like there's going to be a lot more balance with this team in general. Tyler Watts, former Alabama quarterback, will be on color commentary for the Alabama radio broadcast this fall alongside Chris Stewart, Corey Reamer on sidelines. How much more balance do you anticipate this team being? And I don't just mean throwing passing. I mean less reliance on individual players, spread the wealth a little bit, play calling, and then defensively too, maybe different type players in different situations that can step up, make plays that Kane Womack will be able to lean on at different times.
All right, so let's start on the offensive side. I think it all comes down to the performance of the offensive line. Are we able to fill in those gaps? You lost a couple of nice guys up there, but the core nucleus of your offensive line does return. But how dominant can they be in the trenches? That really dictates what you're able to do offensively. Can you remain balanced throughout the course of the game and throughout the course of the season? I'm optimistic about it. I think a lot of people are, but you still have to see it before you believe it. And because there's so much talent at the wide receiver position. I mean, I was sitting here making a list this morning, and, you know, you got Rico Scott as number 4, and he's a guy that I think that a lot of people are high on. And we hadn't gotten to Cole Adams, who had a lot of flashes last year, Jalen Mbakwe, who comes over from the defensive side. But they're legit 6 deep at the wide receiver room. So I anticipate them spreading the ball around and really utilizing just a short game as kind of extended handoffs to try to keep defenses off balance and run them to death, especially early on. High completion passes, and then you take your home run shots after everybody kind of settles in. On the defensive side, I think Kane Womack has a lot of weapons at his disposal. I'm really optimistic about the secondary. Now in their second year, a lot of young guys played last year. And we talked about it all the time, too. I'd be up there scratching my head going, why are we still rotating 8 defensive backs throughout the course of the season against Tennessee? Well, they're all pretty good, and they needed to be on the field getting that experience. So this is their year to shine. Keep everything in front of them. And I think that more than anything else, they want to cause a lot of confusion on that side and try to create turnovers.
When you look at what this team could eventually become as they grow and get better, what position group you think stands to potentially elevate this group the most? Is it quarterback? I feel like that's kind of the obvious one. So if we just remove Ty Simpson, if he plays like an All-American, we all know what this offense could become. But what position group do you think is in the best position to elevate this team to the highest possible heights?
Oh, boy. Well, Ty Simpson, if he becomes an All-American, it's because he's doing a good job spreading the ball around to all the dudes around him, and he's looking like a genius because of his ability to distribute the ball. I think what's going to differentiate this team between being just a good team and a championship-type caliber team is going to be that defensive front. Are they able to get pressure? Are they able to create issues in the backfield? Because we really don't have a speed rusher, man. And how are we going to win those fights up front? I like us. We got to stay healthy at the linebacker position. I think we're going to be solid in the secondary. But, I mean, I think it all pivots down to what are we able to do on the defensive front? And that seems to be the question around college football.
I'm just wondering what you're expecting with Ryan Grubb being back and how you expect things to look different. Maybe what aspect of that excites you, you think brings real positives, what might be a little bit different to fans when they watch it. Just your overall thoughts of him now being there, getting through this fall camp and heading into the season.
Well, I still contend, though, had Ryan Grubb been the offensive coordinator last season, you probably wouldn't have seen a whole lot different just because of the skill set of what Jalen Milroe had. You had to utilize his ability to run the football and some of the challenges that he could put on a defensive unit. You had to take advantage of that. So it was going to be different regardless. he has mentioned over and over, though, that his experience at the NFL level really made him a better coach, made him understand how to communicate better, how to call plays better. So you're hoping that, along with probably more talent than what this roster had last season, that they're able to really press the defense in multiple ways, not only vertical, laterally, but also more balanced on the running game, and allowing the quarterback to not be as big of a part of the running game, however, still with enough mobility to be able to take advantage of that. So how different is it going to be? It's going to be different year to year, because these coaches will tell you it's all based on personnel, what they have returning, what comes into the transfer portal, and they're all still trying to find their identity a couple of weeks into the season.
I don't think there's any doubt. Tyler, we're looking forward to catching up with you on Mondays again. You'll be with us every week. Enjoy the game this weekend, and we'll catch up a week from today.
Appreciate it, fellas.
There you go. Tyler Watts, former Alabama quarterback, joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline.
Go inside Jocks 94.5 on Jocks TV. Morning Jocks, Mac and Cube, and Three-Man Front video simulcasts are presented by Bill Smith Buick GMC and Game Day Men's Health. Watch on the Jocks mobile app and YouTube by searching Jocks 94.5 TV.